Well, good afternoon. It's DP Crazy Lady. It is 2:30 p.m. It is Saturday. It is now October 1st, 2023. What I showed you yesterday was or the other day is what I had. I'm working on this section now on my festive fireplace, which I know I have the picture here somewhere. Come on, there we go. It is a diamond art, and there it is. It is by Dominic Davison. I started it on the 27th of September. It is a 38.6 inches by 27.6 inches, or a 98 centimeter by a 70 centimeter. Hoping to get it done before the end of October, but I'm not going to count on it. So I thought I would come on here and do a whip and chatter. It may be a little longer one. It just depends on what kind of conversation I get into. Okay. Yesterday, well, the day before, the 29th of September, was my stepfather's birthday, turning 101. Last year, when he turned 100, the state representative came out to the house and honored him there with, I call it like a plaque, but it's a leather-bound citation or celebration or whatever of him being 100 years old, serving in World War II. I forgot what number I'm on here. Oh, R. Okay. And so that's what they did last year. They honored him. This year, the new incoming state representative of Lawrence Township, PA, invited him to her office, the state representative offices or wherever that is. I wasn't there. I didn't hear about it till after, or I would have been there. But he went up there, and that was on his birthday. They went up there and they did a honorary ceremony there. She stood and they had it filmed. They stood and talked to him for, oh gosh, an hour or more, and she was only going, they were thinking, oh, this is only going to take 10, 15 minutes, just like before, and out and gone. No, the whole office came out. They all was congratulating him and celebrating, his life and accomplishments, which I'm going to get into because there are quite a few for this man. And I am more than proud that he's my stepfather, that he's in our lives, and if I could honor him in any better way, I would, but I can't, other than saying I love him with all my heart. And he is one hell of a great example of a human being. Okay, so they honored him there. While he was there, a Vietnam vet had come up there because he was going to be meeting with the state representative for something. I guess he runs some kind of thing for Vietnam soldiers with about Agent Orange and something to that effect. And he noticed that my stepdad was there, and he heard them talking that he is a World War II vet. And he said, oh my gosh, he goes, can you stay here for at least another, 10, 15 minutes? He says, I got to run home. I've always wanted to be able to meet, greet, and pin a World War II surviving a survivor of World War II. So he went home, and about 15 minutes later he came back, and they have that on film as well. He pinned my stepfather and gave him another award of some sort. I didn't see that one. Now, I'm going to preface all this by saying my stepfather is a black man born over 100 years ago in the state of Mississippi. Now, we know what segregation was like then. We know what it still entails now. I have never, in all the years I have known this man, and it's been, well, I remember meeting him when I was only about 14 years old, 14 or 15, maybe younger, because my mom had went to a business he had opened, which in the town he was living in Ohio at that time, was one of the first black men to open a business successfully, and they honored him then. About 10 years ago, they brought him into the town of Warren, Ohio, and honored him for that business that he had opened and made a success out of it. So I've known him most of my life. He married my mother about 45 years ago. About 40, 45 years ago, yeah. And he became an independent steel hauler and an independent truck driver by buying his own semi, his old Diamond Rio that he loved. And he maintained that on his own. He traveled every state in the United States in that semi, bringing home money, working it himself, and not one time, and anybody that knows anything about trucking, not one time did he ever deadhead, which means that before he even went to deliver a haul, he tried to make sure he made plans that there would be a haul coming back, because he knew that would cost him running an empty truck. So he worked hard. He still works hard to this day. He still mows grass. He still maintains any equipment that's there at their house. All the lawnmowers, everything. Now, when he was in the military, we know how they treated the black soldiers. And he was there building what they now call the Stillman Road, but it was the Burma-Lita Road then. They were given the poorest equipment, broken shovels. They had to try to work with equipment, dozers and haulers, whatever they had, and they had to try to maintain them or try to make them work. There were almost 1,200 black soldiers that died, either poor equipment, malaria, typhus, everything. They weren't fed as well. They had to fight for their food against the Japanese when it would be dropped from, the planes. When I heard about all that stuff about 10, 15 years ago, I also noticed that my stepfather did not have any of his medals that, he was entitled to. He was a tech sergeant in the engineering corps, or the Corps of Engineers. There were some that he should have been honored with and did not receive. I contacted the military and I requested either replacement medals or medals he was entitled to. Some I had to buy. But at Christmas time, I gave him a huge frame with every medal he was entitled to mounted in that frame. And he was, I don't know if it brought him to tears, but he was impressed. Very impressed. And I was impressed by him because that was something he never talked about. Because I'll tell you something about my stepfather. Like I said, I've never heard that man complain about nothing. He's always let things roll off his back. He didn't care. He said, life's too short to worry about what things could have been. You make things happen now. And, you know, how they were back then was, I am sure, pretty bad. He is the last of his family, other than one daughter, one blood daughter. And it just amazes me every time I see him. It just does. I can't say enough good things about this man. I respect him very, very much, and I trust his word because I've never known him to lie, to cheat, to steal, or to feel sorry for himself one damn bit. Okay, we were there yesterday, and I bought him a pair of, he wanted some suspenders. He wanted the wide suspenders. My mom had mentioned it, that he'd wanted the suspenders and maybe a nice belt. So I made sure I got him the suspenders and a belt. And as a gag gift, my daughter gave him a set of plastic false teeth, because he has had, like he says, I think I've outlived my teeth. He had some removed, and so my daughter put him in a bag that she found at Dollar Tree, gave it to him. He opened up and looked at it, and he says, how in the heck did you find these? I've been waiting a year for them to give me mine. How'd you get these so fast? And he laughed and chuckled. He thought it was a really good joke. He enjoyed himself. You know, I mean, what can I say about him? The food we had, my mom made barbecue ribs, potato salad, baked beans, hot dogs, hamburgers, and I probably ate a little more than I should have. But it's a one-time thing, why not? You know. Now, they did have cake and stuff, but I didn't stay for that because I don't eat cake. You know, I don't eat a lot of the sweet stuff. But, you know, it was nice to see him around still. And he, oh, I got a bad drill here. He, like I said, still works in the yard. He maintains all his tractors and stuff. They live on about 2.5 acres. So, it's got to be mowed, leaves picked up, in wintertime, the driveway shoveled and stuff. And there's been a few times the reservists, the Air Force, would come down and they'd do it for him because they're not far from where the one, is it the 51st airlift that's there? They'll come down sometimes and help out. I think I said that my stepdad was in the Army. He was in the Army. I wasn't sure if I'd mentioned that. But and he also, it came in the mail about a week before his birthday from the White House with a signed documentation and certificate and honoring him for being 101 years old, World War II vet. So he did get that. I had filled out papers for that last year, the beginning of this year, and I was hoping that it would, be noticed or recognized or whatever. And they did. They sent him recognition signed by the president, certified or certificate, whatever, however they do it. I didn't get to see that one either because I was so excited about just being up there visiting a few other of the family members. I didn't even think about asking about that. So, isn't that awful? Because now I, talked about that. Now what do I talk about? But, I read a lot of stuff about that Burmalito Road. That was, from 1942, I think it was 42 to 45 or 43 to 45 is where they had, built that road. And it was mostly a black troops. Helped build that section of road. And then it ended up being abandoned when the war ended. So, I've seen a lot of pictures of it online, and it was a very scary thing. You could go off cliffs and, things. I mean, you'd have to look it up to see what it really looked like. And not saying that part of the war was any worse and others were less. It's just what you see and what you know when you find it online. Let's see. I had a few of the leftovers of diamond painting from the person that gave my daughter and I all them free ones. And some of them, they weren't worth really having. They would have been so pixelated, it was, not something you want to mess with. But some of them weren't too bad. And I had went through those ones anyway, and they weren't worth, trading anybody or anything. I took them up to when my niece was up there at my stepdad and mom's house, and I gave them to her. She's tickled to death. She wants to mess with them, and she's been taking the extra rhinestones that I gave her, some of the specialty ones, the shiny, and she added them to above her eyelids, I think, and added makeup, and she did them on her eyes. She showed the picture. I couldn't see it too good. Dummy me didn't have my glasses on, and I told her to send me a pic. Oh, and speaking of pictures, sorry, there was geez, Susan Howe, and then January 253. Yes, I got the pictures that you sent of what you've diamond painted. I promise I will get it on here. If I have to do a separate video of just showing what you did, and I can do that later today. I decided to do this video at the last minute, and brain freeze. I just forgot all about it, but I promise I will get your pictures up, because at Susan Howe, she did like 4 or 5 really cute finishes, and January 253 has a really nice one finish. It's really pretty. So I promise I will get you guys up. I'm not ignoring you. I don't know. I think if I'm able to finish this, if there is any way I can get enough money together, because the last time I had checked, it was about $70 to get a custom painting of my mom and my stepdad at his 100th birthday. They were sitting in a chair sitting on the lawn, and they were looking at each other in the chair. It's a really nice photo. I was going to try and get it through that rhinestone goddess, but I have to wait and try to see if I could save up the money, because I would love to be able to get it and get it done for Christmas. Because as we all know, he's 101 years old. I don't know how much time he has. Nobody knows. But I would love to be able to do something like that. So I have to see what I can do. So, well, I don't know if there's anything else to really talk about. I'm just diamond painting as I go. I hope everybody is having a good weekend. I was up until about, what time was I up till last night? Wasn't last night. I was up till 5 a.m. Holy crap. And then I woke up at 9:30 a.m. So I had about 3 or 4 hours sleep. Because I stayed up, because the other day I took out hamburger and pork chops. The only reason why I did that is I took out the pork chop, and I thought there might only been one pork chop in the package. So I thought, well, I'll take out a little thing of hamburger, because if there's not enough in the pork chop for my daughter and I would go ahead and just make a hamburger meal and use the pork chop for something else. Well, when I defrosted it all, it turned out there were 2 pork chops in that package, and I had the hamburger. Well, then we were at my mother's and stuff, so naturally I wasn't going to be cooking anything. So before that stuff could go bad, defrosted in the refrigerator, I went ahead and stayed up last night. I cooked the 2 pork chops in the oven while I cooked the hamburger on the stove, and added some ingredients to it that I always do. I put in like pork and beans and a little bit of fake brown sugar, a little butter, a little bit of the no sugar ketchup that I have and stuff, which is really good. And that's what we'll have for dinner one night. I call it slop, but everybody always seemed to like it, so it's pretty good. And then the pork chops I'll have for another meal for dinner. So I don't even have to cook. I just have to heat stuff up and make a little side thing to go with the pork chops. So, like I said, I hope everybody is doing good. Diamond painting. I hope Granny has come really close to finishing. Because if she finishes today, that's the first. I mean, that hey, and if you start your whatever you're going to start on the 1st of October, you're right in line with whatever you wanted to do. So there was no rush on it anyway. So, well, I guess I think I went ahead and bought one of the colors that went on that Chinese pagoda that I through Diamond Dot that I had found at Goodwill, because I couldn't figure out what the number 5004 was, and then I finally searched and searched, and it is one of their ABs. So I happened to check on Joann's, and they had them there. They had 2 bottles, and I thought, okay, there's a discount on there too. They're having a sale. I didn't need 2 bottles, but I got 2 bottles because one was free. With the discount and everything else, it came out to basically buying one, and I got the other one for free. So it came to like $3, So I thought, hey, what the heck? They are a pink, and I don't have them here. I stuck them up out of my way. They're a real pretty pinkish AB, really pretty, real pretty. I do like some of Diamond Dot's drills. Now all I have to do is start filling up, because I did get the conversion. I found it on Diamond Dot's site themselves. They have it right there. Didn't know that. So I just have to start filling little bags. And I don't know how many I need exactly, but I figure if I fill the bags from Craftably and from Diamond Art, I should be able to fill up enough through the conversion if the colors match. If Diamond Art and Craftably's match, then it would be fine. And I put them all in the same bag and mark them for the Chinese pagoda. Then I'll at least have them, and if and when I start, painting that, the drills will be there. So, well, now I'm going to get off here. I thought this would be a little longer. It's 27 minutes. It's not bad. Most of it was spent talking about my stepfather. And my mother will be 90 next year. So I'll be celebrating that. So, and I just hope and pray that my stepfather's around for a lot longer. I mean, yeah, he's slowed down. We all slow down. But he still gets around, and I think I mentioned it before. He has his driver's license, and he drives, and they made him retake all the testing. I think it was about 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. He passed everything. Everything. He's still capable and able to drive. He drives his pickup truck. If he decides to go somewhere, he gets in the truck and goes. So I'm proud of him. I am so proud, and I am honored to have him as my stepdad. Really am. He's been good for the family, good for us, good for my mother. They have a nice home. They lived out toward, country, suburb type thing. Beautiful home. So he was a hardworking man, and he still is. He always tells me if I'm not moving, I'm dying. So he wants to keep moving. And that's what he does. So I am going to get off here and look forward to any comments anybody has, any questions they have. I am pretty much an open damn book. You know, I don't lie. You know, ask me a question and I'll answer it to the best of my ability. If I can't answer it, I'll tell you I can't. So, y'all have a good rest of your weekend. Weather here is not too bad. It's 78 degrees. After last week being in the 60s and rainy and dreary and miserable. So maybe we're getting a little bit of Indian summer type thing. So, well, I had my lunch. Now all I have to do is, heat up stuff for dinner. Thank goodness I don't have to stand over the stove and cook. I can just diamond paint. So, I guess I'll get off. I'm working on the dog area right now. This is the dog, and there are 2 kitties here. There's a kitty here and here, and a couple packages here. So as soon as, I get an update on this, get a little further, I will show you some more. Diamond paint some more. Keep crossing your fingers and hoping I finish this as soon as possible. I'm doing smaller areas than I normally do. I mean, I'm doing it wider, but I'm not doing it as high as I normally did because I'm trying to take smaller bites off the Christmas tree. I can't diamond paint like Granny does, lazy retired Granny, because she, if I could, I would. It would probably make more sense, but you paint cross and go up as high as you can, over your light pad and whatever, and then go over. I got in the habit of starting on the right and working to the left and then going back to the right and back to the left, mainly because I had to have the painting hanging over the table. I didn't like the idea of some of the release papers and sticky area hanging over because I was afraid that paper would come loose or something would happen and the stickiness would be messed up. So, well, yep, it's, what? Oh, good heavens, 33 minutes, y'all. Well, now I am going to leave. Heat me up another cup of coffee and diamond paint. So, have a good one. Hugs to you all. And the mood I'm in, I love everybody. And the one thing I did take from my stepfather is that, nothing should bother you. Nothing. It's life is too short to worry about what's going to happen tomorrow. You worry about today. Today. Tomorrow will take care of itself. Because you could sit all day long and worry about what's going to happen tomorrow. And what if tomorrow never comes? You wasted today. So, don't waste it. Today is important. Tomorrow hasn't happened yet. So, keep trying to tell my mother that, but she goes, my mother's one of these little nervous people. And me, I don't care. I just do not care. I can't change it. The thing about accepting, what you can change and dealing with the can't. I used to know the quote real well, But, you accept what you accept. Yeah, you can fight for different things, but there are some things, no matter what you do, you will not change it. So I don't worry about it. I'm like a duck. It rolls off my back. I don't care. It's not important to me. So have a good one. Please, if you're diamond painting, diamond paint. Enjoy it. Enjoy the hobby. Hugs. Love y'all. Diamond painting crazy lady. I'm out to diamond paint. Bye-bye.